Hey guys, welcome back to this video cast. My name is Joseph Clough. I'm here to help you and support you in the best way that I can. Now, on my Facebook and Twitter, I put out a question about answering some questions, giving you some advice on certain subjects. Got loads of them, so I'm going to try and go through them throughout the next few weeks. But one of the questions, or one of the subjects was how you can deal with people who are trying to wind you up, trying to disrupt you, trying to make you feel bad, make you stressed. In other words, they're not being very nice right now, okay? But you know what they're trying to do, but you can't help yourself getting stressed, overwhelmed, even angry, or doing behaviors matching their level. Now, we know that that's not what you want to do. So I want to give you some tips on how you can begin to react in a way which is peaceful, resourceful, and allows you to deal with that situation far more effectively. So, one thing we need to understand, which is actually a great way of making and reacting differently, is to see the intention behind what they're doing. Now, my own personal belief is, people can have bad behaviors. They can do bad things. And I also believe their intention behind what they're trying to do can be positive. It's just because they're working at a different level though. So if they're trying to, say, bully you, it's usually because they feel inferior, or they feel as if they're losing control, or they feel as if they need to make someone else feel bad to cause them to feel good about themselves. So although the behavior is absolutely rubbish, the intent behind their behaviour, I personally believe, you don't have to agree with this, I personally believe is actually trying to do something positive. It's just not giving them the results, and it's definitely not giving you the results. Because we need to be able to understand that simply if we see through behind their behaviour, the behaviour they're doing has less of an impact over us. So if someone comes out to me and they're trying to, say, bully me, or kind of, let's think about it, trying to demean who I am, or trying to put me down, if I see through their whole energy, or behind their behaviour, and realise where they're coming from, trying to understand what's the thought process behind that behaviour, the energy of their behaviour diminishes. You react differently because you understand what they're trying to do. Now, on some cases, when that happens, you can personally laugh at that situation. Not at them, because that's mean. I don't think that it's about belittling them or anything like that, but you can begin to feel comfort and humour behind what they're trying to do. Because if they don't want to change, they don't want to change. But you can refuse to allow them to have an effect on you. It's your choice of how you act and react at the end of the day. In a great book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, he goes on about, he says, I've just thought of the quote, so just bear with me, is that you can do whatever you do to me, but I'm the person who's going to make the choice behind whatever happens. That is actually a rubbish interpretation of the quote, but it's a great quote, but ultimately it means that you can do whatever you want. It's up to me how I act and react. There's my mind and body. And now this guy, Viktor Frankl, was in the concentration camp, so he went through a lot of physical and emotional and mental restraint, abuse, and so on. Yet he came out with that quote. So ultimately, we've got to take responsibility of how we act and react, but a great way of doing that is by seeing behind their behaviour, the intent behind it. And then when we do that, we can see what they're really doing, and therefore it has less of an effect of us. And in some cases, you can get humour out of that situation. You can think, well, that's what they're doing. I find it funny now because I used to react. So you're not laughing at them, you're laughing at your past behaviour. So you're thinking, well, I used to act like that, but now I can see what they're really trying to do. And you can get great comfort from that. Now, the other thing to do, and this is a very interesting and a tricky one sometimes, but when you think about that person in your mind, you're going to probably have a negative emotion attached to them. So when you think of that person, maybe in the work, or an ex-partner, or a so-called friend trying to put you down, you're going to probably feel negative in some way to that person, whether it be fear, whether it be stress, whether it be anxiety or worry, but you're going to have a certain an emotional attachment to that person, because that's how you know you're reacting to them. So even if you think of them, you're going to probably have a certain set of feelings. And in fact, you're going to probably see them in a certain way. You're going to probably hear them in a certain way in your mind. And as you consider that in your mind, what I ask you to do is be aware of where that image of them is located in your mind. So it could be quite far out, it could be over here, it could be over here, it could be right close up. And as you consider that, notice if that image of them, or their behaviour, is colour black and white. And as you notice that, notice the size of it, notice the if it's big or small. And as you consider that, I want you to then consider where you feel those feelings. So is it in your body somewhere? Is it in your head? Is it everywhere? And just consider how you know you react to that person in that negative way. How you feel bad. And as you do that, notice if there's any sounds as well. Sometimes it could be their voice. Sometimes it could be your own internal voice getting stressed about it. And as you do that, what I'd like you to do is, as you consider the visual, the auditory, which is the sounds, and also the kinesthetic, are feelings attached to them, I want you to take that visual and make it smaller and smaller and send it really, really far behind you, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You can do it in front of you as well if you wish, if it's easier. But whatever you do, take that visual representation of them and make it smaller and smaller and smaller, so they're about this big in your mind. And then as you do that, just take down the intensity of the colour. So you're just taking the energy away from that image, that visual representation. And then as you do that, what I ask you to do is consider changing their voice. Now this is where it can get a little bit funny. I want you to put a humorous voice to them. So it could be like they're on helium, or it could be they've got a Mickey Mouse voice, or it could be that they're like Donald Duck voice. And then hear them saying what they'll be saying, like to demean you and make you feel bad, but in that tonality. So this makes it really interesting. We're really shrinking them very, very small and putting the new tonality to their words that they may be saying. And then as you do that, notice how it makes you feel. Notice that you can feel more lighter about it. Even see the humour. The more funny you make the voice, the more you're going to be able to develop a new connection in a humorous way. So you're no longer being affected by that person. So as you do that, then I want you to notice how the feeling changes. And notice the type of feeling that you'd like to have. For some it could be humour. For some it could be just being completely blank. For some it could be just being very resourceful. It could be a mixture of all of these, like it could be power, strength, contentment, peace, whatever it is for you. And what I'd like you to do is allow that feeling that you'd like to have to be in your body and then just slowly grow. You can do that by putting a colour to it and just intensifying that energy, making that colour of that feeling bigger and bolder so it's going around your whole body. And just allow it to move. It might move in a certain direction, but allow it to move around your body. So you begin to feel resourceful. So you're feeling resourceful, seeing that person in your mind, very small, in that new tonality, that humorous tonality. And then you keep doing that. And as you can keep spinning the wonderful feeling, seeing that person very small and that internal, or their voice being in a humorous way, your brain, your unconscious mind, is developing the new connection there. So the more you're doing it, the more your brain and your mind and body sees that behaviour in that way. So a little bit humorous, more resourceful, more peaceful, more powerful, and less intense. And the more you do that, it becomes a natural habit. So that's a great way of seeing through their behaviour. Because sometimes we've got to work with people. Sometimes we've got to be around certain people. But this way, you choose how you react. So you're looking at the intention behind what they're doing, which really diffuses what they're doing, or the absolute negative, so it gets more clarity there. And also we're changing the internal relationship of how we react to that person in the physical world around us, by changing the inner associations to that person to one of maybe humor, maybe peace, maybe happiness, or maybe, just maybe, even love. Having love for them. So despite their behavior, we project love out to them. That is a wonderful way of being really whole and content with the process, because it's not nice to dislike people or hate someone or to get stressed over them, because that damages you. But if you see through their behavior and you change them in a way which makes it less intense, and you also have that maybe a little bit of humor but also love for them, you're getting that ecology within your body. You're getting wholeness and inner alignment to be really resourceful. So that's a great way of changing. Another way is doing this. So I'm giving you a few tips right here. When you get that old picture back, if it ever pops up, you can either keep making it smaller and have the feeling there, but also, if you can imagine that image in their mind, suddenly, on top of that, seeing the you that you'd like to be, or how you'd like to react. So you see that person in your mind just about to do it, and suddenly, bang, in your mind, you see how you'd like to act and react. So you're seeing yourself in the picture, and them in the picture, but you're seeing yourself act and react in a way which you would like to, in a very healthy way. So I'm going to go through that process again. As soon as you think of that person, you can do this as an exercise right now. You don't have to do it at the moment. I always think it's about pre-teaching your mind. So in your mind, see that person, and as you see that person, how you know when it's time to feel bad or feel scared or whatever they produce in you. When you see that in your mind when they're just about to do it, bang, right in front of it, see yourself acting and reacting in a way that you would like to. And then see it again, and then bang, see how you'd like to act and react. And you keep doing that, so one after the other. And you could do that, say, 20 times in the next 2 or 3 minutes. But what we're doing here is we're creating a new way of how your brain works. So rather, seeing that picture and then feeling bad, we're now seeing that picture, and when bang, we're seeing how we'd like to act and react, giving direction to your mind and body of how you're going to be in the future. But as well as that, developing new connections so it happens automatically. So when you see that person in the future, you will begin to automatically act and react the way you'd like to. So there's 3 processes there. Once again, the first one, seeing the intention behind their behavior and learning from it yourself. So you get that clarity, you take away the energy. The other one is changing your internal representation, make them smaller and darker, send them further away, changing their voice, as well as the feelings inside you to get that new neurological connection and association to them. And there's also developing new behaviors and habits by, as soon as you think of them in your mind, bang, see how you'd like to act and react. That creates the new behavior. So we're working on many different levels there, but ultimately, this can take 10 minutes to do. All those processes, just 10 minutes. And you do that a few times, you're going to be able to see amazing changes of how you act and react. How you can remain grounded, resourceful, powerful, confident, even happiness and love for that person, despite what they're doing. Now naturally, this kind of process is if you have to deal with them. Sometimes it's better to just completely cut loose and not be in that situation. But that's not always the case. And also, we shouldn't have to change our situation all the time for the sake of one person or a few people. So that is a great way of how you can react differently. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be doing many more videos just going through the list of all the subjects, but for more information about me, go ahead and visit my website, josephclough.com, as well as Facebook, which is facebook.com/josephfanpage, and twitter.com/josephclough. Give lots of free giveaways, competitions, lots of my thoughts, images, which I kind of design and create, all there to inspire you, all for free, because I'm here to assist you, support you, and just remember, you're worthy, good enough, you're loved, and you're capable to achieve all your desires. That's my belief system, and I really believe in you. So many thanks, and goodbye.